you're just going to find that a lot of realtors are out there doing really great things, which is also nice to see because it just elevates the whole industry, right? And you just want to see people out there giving back to the communities that they work in.
Hi, welcome to the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast. I'm here today with Andrea Florian. You're here for the second time on our episodes. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to speak today about giving back to the community, being involved in the community, especially with the holidays coming up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell us a bit about how you've done it.
Well, first of all, I think that realtors in general are really involved in their community.
Yeah.
You tend to find that some realtors maybe not, but the bulk of the people that I tend to run into tend to be the kind of people who tend to be very community minded. So you're just going to find that a lot of realtors are out there doing really great things, which is also nice to see because it just elevates the whole industry, right? And you just want to see people out there giving back to the communities that they work in. And because they're out there in the streets seeing the communities that they're in constantly, it kind of just sort of goes hand in hand that you see them wanting to contribute. And I think local is a big deal too for a lot of realtors who are working in the neighborhood. So I'm seeing realtor. There's one realtor who lives in my neighborhood, and he's doing every year he just does he just provides gifts and food for one family. He chooses one family a year, and he does it really subtly too. He's very humble about it.
Okay.
And he goes out and he just sends out an email to everybody and says, "This is what I'm looking for this year." And he keeps it simple. And
For one family, so he gives it all to one.
yeah, so he'll say there's a boy who's 11, or and that's his way of giving back. And a lot of realtors I see doing things with the schools or hosting community events or things like that. Our group with the Andrea Florian group is Barb and Laura and myself really love the food drive. That's a big deal for us in the fall. And the reason we came to that was because I was seeing how much paper we were putting out there, and all these postcard blasts, like 2,500 to 3,000 pieces of mail, and there's a recycling bin right at my mailbox, and people are taking it and putting it right straight in the bin. And I just thought, this isn't right. I can't do this anymore. And as you know, because we do our promotions for you, we do a lot less postcard runs than we used to, just because I can't stomach it. Unless we have an event or something really important, then we need to reach out and grab as much as we can.
And the process for the food drive is similar. You still get people's house, but you do it at their front door with the paper and the paper bag.
Exactly. Yeah. So we use a plain, not a fancy piece of paper bag, your old-fashioned craft bags, and we used to hand them out door to door, but then that got really tedious, especially as Alton Village grew. We ended up with over 3,000 homes to hit. So now we actually hire a company to put the bags on everybody's doorstep over the course of 2 days, and then we in there just have a little flyer saying we'll be picking up on these 2 days. And we've gone from we used to get 20 to 50 homes participating to now we have several hundred homes participating. And our last run for the food drive was over, I think, 16,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
And when we come every year now to the food drive, it's our local Burlington Food Bank.
Yes.
Whenever we show up, the shelves are empty. There's volunteers waiting with nothing to do. And as soon as we show up, they look at us, and as soon as they see my logo, they just admit, "We were wondering when you were going to show up. We were waiting for your load," right?
That's
so
cool.
there's nothing more rewarding. And it's raining, and you've got the cars and the flashers blinking, and you're trying not to hit cars and pick up all these, because 2 days of pickup is pretty intense.
Yes.
And we do expand upon those areas. So we advertise. We can't possibly hand out paper bags to all of Burlington.
No.
But we hit all the different Facebook groups and the community groups and everything, and then we go pick up through, and we'll pick up throughout the year.
Yeah.
So Christmas time, we'll do a little shout out. Hey, are you trying to get rid of your chocolates? Well, I'm sure a senior citizen would love to have some chocolates, right? So we'll go pick that up.
Cool.
So, yeah.
From a business perspective, as a realtor, so you do it to help the community. Mm-hmm. You do it because you love helping the community, but it also has a positive effect to your business.
Absolutely.
So how do you see that?
Well, I think, so I recently saw something somebody was mentioning, and I've heard this a lot, where people, they take a picture of themselves giving money to the homeless or something like that. And it's this whole, look at me and feeding the ego, and, I stopped a fight today, or I did this today. And, it's great that you did that, but you didn't need to publicly announce it, right? But on the other hand, I feel like there's this other side where getting out there and doing something good and being a good role model is also really important.
Yeah.
And my kids get to see this happening and see how on a large scale we've affected a community. And when they look into our garage as I'm loading up the tons of food into the car, they're seeing how like their one little can of food actually makes a difference, right?
Yes.
I even had some people say, well, why don't you just write a check to the food bank then?
Oh, yeah.
But then I could easily do that. But it wouldn't have the same effect and it wouldn't empower the community the way it does.
Yes.
And then the people that contact me years later are the kind of people I want to work with in general. So I generally find that the people who are participating in the food drive are the people who actually call me 3 years down the road and I'll say, oh, I don't know who you are.
How'd you hear about me?
How did you hear about me? And, oh, well, we always participate in your food drive. And there's just an immediate trust there because they already have a trust for me and know who I am and what I represent. And if you're doing it because you love it, it's easy to continue doing it.
Yeah.
If I didn't love the food drive, I would have probably failed after 2 years and said, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Because it is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. One time I fell down somebody's stairs in the ice, picking up bags. Like it's a lot of work and it's tedious work. But every time we see a bag, like Barb, Laura, and I are in the car, and I see a bag, and we get excited, and we pull it in, and it's worth it. And I find that, and we just recently did another fundraiser for the Shelter Foundation, because Royal Lepage has a shelter foundation which supports local women's centers. So our Shelter Foundation for Royal Lepage Burlington supports our local Halton's Women's Place. Yes. So I like the fact that it's local. I like the fact that they're already giving us all the branding and everything to deal with. And so we do a ladies shopping events once a year before Christmas. Again, I could have written a check for $1,000 to go towards the Shelter Foundation, but instead I helped create awareness about it and people got to celebrate together a little bit and feel good if they were going to Christmas shop anyway. They spent it at this event that we had, which was contributing and also supporting local vendors. So the cycle just gives and gives and gives, right?
Yeah.
I think as long as we're being mindful about it, and even if we make mistakes along the way, if we learn from it and we take it to the next level next time and just do better, we can always do amazing things.
Yeah. You're bringing people together, you're feeling good about something you're doing, and it helps your business. So it's
and the people you're attracting, people who are donating to our food bank are generally pretty nice people.
Yeah, so when they call and they say, I want you to sell my house, you're like, yes, I want to work with you.
Absolutely, I want to work with you because they're nice people. I know that I'm not going to have a bully of a client.
That's true.
Not that I I can handle it.
Yes. And then you said something about if you're passionate about your community, you get more return into living there.
Absolutely. It's just a cycle. Yeah. So, I mean, I know myself, I'm not special or unique in this front. A lot of realtors support a lot of local businesses, and sometimes we all partner up with different businesses. And for me, that's really important too, because as those businesses grow and as my business grows, I can employ more people, I can hire more people, I can pay you for more marketing, the whole community thrives off of that. So I just think there's room for everyone, and there's room for more, and the more we create, the more abundance there is for everyone. Yeah. Not to get too spiritual or anything, but that's my belief system.
The more the community will be well run, well impacted, and everything, it will help everyone, all businesses and real estate.
Absolutely, and even your team feels good. You know, we always say out of all the events and everything that we do, the food drive is probably the most rewarding thing we do every year. Yeah. And we will never stop doing it.
Great team building as a team.
Totally.
Yeah. And the women's shelter is so empowering.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you do the pumpkins in the neighborhood. That's just a fun event.
Yep. So we run the pumpkin walk with another realtor in the neighborhood who's from a different team.
Okay.
But we work together.
Yes. Very cool.
So, so that's really great. And that's just a free event. And we wanted to say, okay, if you want to come to the event, bring a canned food drive or something, but it's very difficult right now logistically. We're collecting thousands of pumpkins and trying to load them all up and make sure they're landing in the recycling bin properly and everything, and it's 10:30 at night, so I can't imagine hauling the food at the same time.
Didn't make
sense. So unfortunately that's just a fun event that we're just giving back to the community. So
which again, it's good. It brings people together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm glad to hear you've seen results from that.
We're seeing great results from it, and we feel it just makes you feel happy to go to work the next day. Yeah. You feel good about what you're doing. You feel good about the community you're living in, and the people you're meeting are wonderful. So you're creating your own lovely rose-colored glasses world.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Anything else that you're doing for the holidays or that's happening?
not right now. I'm trying to wind things down a little
Yes.
bit. I'm trying to get off social media a little bit. I know that's a big no-no.
The opposite as a realtor's life, but I get it. Sometimes
you just have to turn off, and you can't possibly be on all the time. And I've tried to do that gig, and it just doesn't work. And sometimes you just got to do. I sing. I was a singer in a previous life, and I actually just sang yesterday at the Village Square. In downtown Burlington, had a tree lighting ceremony.
Yeah.
In my previous life, for those of you who don't know, I was a full-time touring musician.
Yeah.
And so recently it just came to me like, I don't have to be exclusively one or the other. Why can't I enjoy that on the side if it's something you love to do? And that also works into the same thing of like, when you're giving back to the community and that's something you believe in, if you're doing things you love, you'll run into people that also have common ground with you, and you also get to experience community in a different way. So I'm not trying to make money or tough it out as a musician right now, but I get asked to play the odd gig, and I really love to sing. And it's nice to pull out all my old songs or sing a Christmas carol or two and see the community and the event. There's lots of great events going on.
Yes.
I know recently Stephanie Finn's been doing all those Burlington Made events, which has been incredible and great for our community, right? As that grows. And it's great getting traction and growing. And she'd introduced me to the people at the Village Square because she was running events there. And it just, all of a sudden you start to see your community in a whole different light because you're truly a part of it, right? Yeah. So it was a great opportunity, and I got to sing.
Yeah, there you go, to win-win.
Yeah, my kids think I'm a rock star or something like that.
You
are.
Whatever. Very cool. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for coming to share this tip you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you.